What's up, YTPC? Uncle Willie coming to you 2 days in a row from Roop's Coop. Today I'm showcasing my Savinelli's, oops, sorry about that, in pipe tour number 3. Starting off with the Eleganza SR 310 KS, smooth finish. And it's got the cross grain because it has the bird's eye from side to side, so it's been drilled, shaped in that direction. 6mm. Everything I have except for 2 are 6mm. I do not use most of the time I do not use a filter in this. Sometimes I do, depending on what I smoke. Usually I would smoke it with a filter like today because I'm smoking some Garth and Hogarth Brown Bogey. But it's not as bad as the X Brown and Black. So anyway, and it's moist. So yeah, that's the way I roll. Next up, the 320. Almost everybody's got one. Mostly everybody's seen one. I got a chip right there. Fell out of my mouth. All I was doing was clenching it to get into my car. I had water or coffee, whatever, this in my mouth, and as soon as I opened the door, pressure released, it fell. I dumped half the bowl and put a chip in it. You can't see it, but you can feel it. Just irritating that way a little bit. Showed this to my wife when I first got it. I was like, yeah, baby, this is the Savinelli. I was proud of it, the first one. She said, I said, it's a 320. She said, more like 420. Because it does resemble the shape of something I had years ago that was glass, but that's another story. So anyway, moving right along, this next one was gifted to me from a friend for my 5th year of sobriety, and it's a beautiful pipe. It's the Savinelli Autograph, and it is a number 4 series, and I thought I had another number on it. Maybe it was that other one that's got the number. But it's the Autograph series, half rusticated, half smooth. This stem is not the stem that came on it. I had Boswell's put a stem on it. It actually came with a black stem. So you can see, I just didn't like it. It was just so plain. And Boswell added like almost a ½ inch to the stem length to make it just a little longer. They did an excellent job. Beautiful. Looks like it was made together, and great smoker. Next is my Bosinelli II. It is the 614 dry system with the P-lip thing. I didn't like the P-lip, so I had Boswell's transform it into a fishtail. It was not drilled to accept a 6mm filter, so I drilled it out by hand with my DeWalt drill, taking my time, stepping up the size with 3 different bits, and now it accepts a filter. Sometimes it needs it, depending on what tobacco I smoke in it, because with it being a bent, even though it's a dry system, it still gurgles. And it's got that little port down in the bottom to collect the moisture. So what I do is, I didn't bring a filter out, but when I use this pipe and put a filter in it, I lay the filter in there, then fit the filter on the end of the stem, and then just push it down. That way the filter is always in the bottom of that reservoir, absorbing any moisture, and it's not pushed back all the way to block the draw from where it goes from the stem when you put the, sometimes when you put a filter in the stem, you push it too far and you can't get a draw. You gotta take it out. Usually when I use a filter, I only push it in the stem about a quarter way, and then I put the stem into the pipe and it'll push it in farther if it touches the inside of the pipe. Just something I do. It works for me, it could work for you. You might have your own way of doing things, so you do you, I do me. Next is a pipe I had the other day. Y'all saw, I was in one of my videos, is the Savinelli 513 Alligator in brown, and it has the black and brown stem. That is, I really think that stem is gorgeous. I wish I could get that on a different pipe, because I love that the brown stems always catch my attention. It's got a gold or brass accent ring around it, just a little bit of metal, excuse me, just a little bit of metal on pipe sometimes, just bing, gives it that little accent. I guess that's why it's called an accent ring. It's a very nice pipe, it smokes great. I use a filter sometimes. Being straight stem, I don't usually smoke it. Usually I have more trouble with gurgling in a bent stem than I do with a straight stem. So, you know, so now, let me catch up here for a minute. Man, I love this brown bogey. I love all the ropes, but that brown bogey, that's my favorite. All right, going back with another, as Sergeant Savinelli calls them, it's the Savinelli saxophone, shape 614. Of course, you can tell it's camouflage. It has the little silver accent ring just to give it a pop of accent. It's a very good smoker. A couple neighbors going by, walking the dog. A lot of neighbors walk their dogs around here. But anyway, 614 camo, and it takes a filter also. And the same thing with this one. Whenever I use a filter, I usually stick it in there and then put the filter on the pipe and then push it down into place until I get it to where I want it. Straighten it up. And these pipes are great clinchers. They are balanced well. I love these. I don't know why I only own two. I should have more than that. So, moving right along. Who let the dogs out? Savinelli Bulldog. I think it's got a number 510 KS. It's the Forester. That green really popped. I like the way, I didn't bring out my tamper, but I have a tamper with the same colors in it that I ordered with this pipe, and it actually matches pretty damn good. This pipe also is a 6mm like all the rest of them. And this one is this, I just put the filter in the stem, push it in, but usually I don't use a filter because this is a straight pipe, and like I said, I don't usually have trouble with them gurgling being a straight pipe. I don't know if there's some science behind that or not, but that's just what I've found. Straight pipes don't smoke as wet as a bent pipe. So now, next one, straight pipe, Savinelli Nom. I think it's a 9128. Faux bone horn part of the shank. This thing is sharp enough to cut plugs. That's why I have this bit on there, because this comes down to a very flat, and this is the original stem that came on it. See the two silver dots? I almost picked up one of these on eBay that had a chewed up stem or the bit. somebody else wanted it a lot more than I wanted it. And right at the end, I was bidding, I think, like right around 60 bucks, and somebody had bought it for over 100. I bought this for 100 in a state pipe, or 100 at Boswell's. Very nice, smokes great. The bit doesn't like to come out as easy as some, but it is a good looking pipe with that grain. Beautiful. And last but not least, the Friday Savinelli Roma Lucite 673 KS. This is their version. It's between a Bulldog and a Rhodesian. It doesn't have a diamond shank. It's sort of flattened off at the bottom. It's just a little oval, not quite flat. It sits, you can't see that, but if you have one, you know, it does sit. If you needed to sit it down for and didn't have a holder, you could sit it down and it would be fine. Smokes excellent. 6mm filter. I don't use a filter with this one. I smoked some Burleys in it. I don't have any haunted bookshop. I had some years ago. Didn't like it. So, you know, John, rest in peace. Hope you're not turning over too much when I smoke this with a vapor in it, but at least I smoke it in your honor whenever I do smoke it. I love it. I don't smoke it that often because I like to keep it in pristine condition as much as possible. So, rest in peace, matches. I think almost everybody owns a 673. Even if it's not a Roma Lucite, they consider it their Friday Savinelli. I know somebody that has one in the blue, the Oceana. He calls it the Friday Savinelli. Just different ones. It's not necessarily the Roma Lucite, which that was the Friday Savinelli for matches. But if you're paying a tribute to him and calling it that, it's all good, and whatever makes you feel good, I'm sure he does not have a problem with it. Now, if you made it this far, last night before I went to bed, I had 26 people that had commented on the 100 sub gall drawing. So I chose those 26 people that I had on there at the time. There might be more now, but sorry guys, I did it before I went to bed, so that way I could get everything that shipped at one time. Had my wife pick a number between 1 and 26. She chose 13, and 13 happens to be Hiking Pipes. So Craig, over at Hiking Pipes, send me your information at willyroop@yahoo.com, and it's also in the description of the drawing video from yesterday. So I'm sure you can find out how to get a hold of me. Thank you for sticking around this long. If you did, I enjoy showing off my pipes and giving you what you want, because you're the ones that asked for it. I think I probably have 2 more editions of pipe tour to go. So until next time, stuff them and puff them.